So, let's talk about the Super Mario Bros. Movie. Seriously, what can I even say about Mario? He's one of the most iconic video game characters you could ever even recognize. I can even say up to the same levels as other iconic characters, it's like Sonic, Pikachu, Link, and many more. Heck, I'll even say now that I'm a huge Mario fan, and I have been ever since I grew up. I played most of like some of the classic games from the 3D All Stars like 64, Sunshine, Galaxy. I even played some of that's more modern like Odyssey, and how can I not forget about the fun games like Mario Kart and Mario Party. As I always said like a few minutes ago, this man is a video game legend. So it isn't really surprising that Mario will get not one, not two, but three films. Well, the first one is a Japanese film with him, which was pretty much a hidden gem that we haven't recognized for years now till we got to know what it's like, and the live action film, which was something. But then there's the Illumination film, which set off a huge of a record where this could be Illumination's next biggest animated film they could make. Probably even more than Minions, but we'll give that film a bit of like a few weeks and we might see. But for now, this film is obviously the most anticipated film for me. And I am quite excited to get my Mario experience with this film. So, in case you're wondering, how is my experience with the Mario movie as a huge Mario fan myself? Well, I'm gonna start that question now with the plot of the film, which I kind of find to be not really interesting, even by Mario standards. Since the plot of the film is mostly about Mario and Luigi, who mostly have their lives as plumbers and aren't really having the most successful jobs, and people that they can actually do what people say they can't do. And when at the part where they try to fix a sewering problem, they enter the sewers and find a pipe that will lead to the Mushroom Kingdom. Well, for Mario, while Luigi is in Bowser's fortress, if you go in that direction. So it's up to Mario and some other guests like Peach, Toad, and Donkey Kong to stop Bowser from ruling over the Mushroom Kingdom. And yeah, that's basically the most I can say about the plot of the film. Since the story itself can feel like it rushes throughout almost every scene that just wants to get the film done for and move on to another one. And I mean, I guess I would say that not every scene is pointless, since they at least do cover up for like the film and how it's gonna end. So I guess it doesn't have any too much filler to make it feel a bit pointless and actually to focus on the main plot of the film. But like I said, it keeps on rushing through every scene that kind of makes this film a bit hard to like sit through in order to like understand what's going on. The best thing I can go for this is the relationship between Mario and Luigi, where it establishes that at the beginning, but it doesn't really feel like it wants to go much into it and just wants to get to the finale as they meet up again. And that's kind of disappointing too, because I really want to see more of Mario and Luigi as well. And this could be one of the weaker stories that Illumination's ever told. Well, maybe. Just maybe. Yeah, that's right, I said maybe, because at least for like when you take out the Mario elements into it. But with the Mario elements in the film, makes this film around all enjoyable to watch, especially for Mario fans. Since the best thing that the story can do is to actually pay homage to the Mario games, and it actually does so very well. When you actually forget about the plot and actually focus more on the Mario elements into the film, I can tell you have a fun time with this film. And heck, even for me, even if I wasn't too much on the first time I saw it, since I was hoping for like an actual like a good film, but the second time I watched it, I was actually having a blast with the film. And I actually think that this could be one of the better films that Illumination has made. And yeah, I mean, sure, when you take out the Mario elements, the plot itself can feel a bit messy and unorganized. But when you actually take the Mario elements into the film, You can have an overall fun time if you're a Mario fan, or actually quite curious in the franchise, depending on your situation. So I know what you're thinking. Are the casts even like an improvement from the games? Well, that will honestly depend on to you, similar to the story. But for me, I think they are a pretty nice addition to the Mario franchise, even if it's just based around the movie itself. Starting off with Mario and Luigi, Mario is basically the brave plumber that is, well, of course, on a rescue mission to rescue Luigi, and I guess I'll give that there are times where he show off and can be quite emotional at times, even if it doesn't show off throughout the film, and it actually does show on how he cares about Luigi. So it is nice to look at. And there's not much I could say about him, except for his voice actor Chris Pratt. Now, I know there was that controversy about us just basically not really into like the choice here, and just mostly doubting it. Yes. Especially when we looked at the trailers and the review of who Mario is being voiced by. Most of us just kind of disappointed. But into the film itself, he's fine. Not terrible, but at least he did his job. And I'll give that there were times where he gave out a nice impression of Mario. Especially in the ad itself. If you were not counting the short one, just the one in the film, if you've seen it. And as for Luigi, he's the scared brother that's captured by Bowser in the cage. There's not much I could say about him, but at least I'll give Charlie Day did actually do a nice performance as him. And as for the characters in the Mushroom Kingdom, of course, in the pipe, there's also Peach, who I can even say is a big upgrade for the Peach character himself in the games. Translate to the film. Well, she's went from a damsel in distress to actually a badass as type of princess who wants to protect her toads and all that on all the creatures that live there. Yeah. And I'll give that Anya Taylor-Joy does a pretty decent performance as Peach. And as for others, there was Toad, who is, well, the comic relief, who keeps saying that he's best friends with Mario, even though they just met. I mean, he's fine as a character. There's not much I could say about him. But I can definitely say for Donkey Kong, and he's a pretty nice, really of a hilarious character. Even if he can be annoying, at least Seth Rogen does fit the role in very well. And then there's the main villain, Bowser. Well, you know, he's the type of villain you often expect in Mario games. But I'll give Jack Black that he is the standout role of the film, as he just steals the show. Well, his performance doesn't go off too extreme, but I mean, oh wait, what am I saying? Jack Black does it, but it doesn't go too off to actually make the film feel annoying. And it actually makes the experience quite fun to sit through. So good on you, Jack Black. Also, the Peaches song, what a masterpiece. And there isn't really too much I can say about the side characters either that appear for like few scenes. Like the Penguin King that gets kidnapped after the first part of the movie. Cranky Kong, who is the father of Donkey Kong, and Accent and all that. Spike, who is basically the bully of Mario and Luigi. And a suicidal Loomer, who is honestly quite hilarious, and I can't help but love at him. And that's pretty much I can say about the characters, which are a pretty nice solid upgrade to like the characters that we known before. Also, keep your eyes out for a lot of cameos. I'm pretty sure you'll be surprised to see them in this film. Well, I'm not too sure if you people will be a fan of the story or how they adapt the characters themselves, depending on your situation, like I said. I'll give the film that the animation is probably the best thing about the film, besides the actors and some of the references they put in the film. And I'll give that the film does stay true to the source of materials of the games. And the most notable with this is with the designs, where they actually do stay true to like the look of the video games, but they still have that cinema movie type of texture onto them, which are not too abstract in order to make them look a bit off to look at. So, and I'll say that they are still detailed, and they still move perfectly, and yes, by illumination standards. And yes, the use of cartooniness does fit for the Mario's tone. Anywho, but the other good thing about the animation is the backgrounds, where they are very colorful with the use of primary colors like red, blues, yellows, and greens that actually suits well for like the tone of the Mushroom Kingdom. And even for like Bowser's Castle and Fortress, that actually is a lot more minimal and dark, and orange that does suit well for something that's based around Bowser and what is based around the enemies, yes. And I'll give that the animators does a pretty nice job of putting cameos in the backgrounds or whatever they would pop up on screen. Especially in Mario and Luigi's home in Brooklyn, where there are a few cameos that you can actually spot there. And it is pretty surprising to see that happening, since you would expect more from Mushroom Kingdom, but you weren't expecting that some cameos in the bloody Brooklyn. But the best thing about the animation, besides other bits, is the action scenes, where you have the nice mixed toning of fun and intense moments, where the intensity is from Bowser and the fun is from the Mario characters, which basically come from like Donkey Kong, Toad, or even the other Kongs. And I will say right now that yes, the animation is good. I can really tell it's the best animation Illumination has ever put out, and it is quite shocking to see that happening. But at least Nintendo actually weren't disappointed at what Illumination have created. The Super Mario Bros. Movie is a definite fun video game movie where the story ain't really the highlight of the film, since it can rush through almost every scene and some of the emotions in the film can feel arguably noticeably rushed as well. Well, that makes the viewing experience hard to sit through at times, but it does make up for it with some beautifully nice animation that sticks well through the games, nice cameos to view the experience even more pleasant, and some great voice acting, in memorable characters, and action scenes that actually have a nice balance of intensity and fun. And I'll say this right now, this could be another big step for Illumination. I mean, sure, The Sing 2 and Minions the Rise of Gru could be a bit of could be getting that title, but you never see this type of animations in the Illumination, have you? I mean, sure, it is Nintendo, but I'll take like the film Migration for an example, and I'll say that the animation is pretty detailed and actually does suit well for a theater film. So that's what I mean. If the Mario film can actually have different animation, it could actually go more into what it's doing and show off its true colors, then maybe this could be another big step for Illumination, as I just said. Which is also the reason why I'm going to give this a 0 of good. And if you're curious, I know I'm not the only person who did this, but I'm going to say something that's familiar to what you're experiencing right now. Next time on Kyle's Reviews is...
And then I looked at my uncle and...
let me guess. He died?